Hi YouTube! Basically, this video is just going to be a small, quick review on the iPhone 4S. And as you probably either know or don't know, I did a casemate review not too long ago, and basically that was two weeks ago. And I've had my iPhone for about a month now, and I feel like I fully integrated myself and I know all the cons and pros. And believe me, there are some cons and there are some pros. And let's start off with the cons so we end on a good note. Major thing, I'm pretty sure if you guys are researching this right now, you've heard over and over and over again, the battery life sucks. Okay, I mean, if you're an Android user and you use those like powerful Androids and you just apps all the time, music all the time, then I mean, you're probably going to the same thing. That's if you're coming from an Android. If you're coming from a regular phone that's not a smartphone, you're probably going to be kind of disappointed. Like a BlackBerry, if you come from a BlackBerry, you're going to be disappointed with the battery life. Maybe. I don't know, I'm not a BlackBerry user, but I have heard that the battery life is better than the 4S. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know. Ignorance is blind. And another con that's kind of obvious. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I get a full use of music in the morning. Basically, I listen to about an hour of music in the morning, which is my bus ride. And at school, around lunchtime, more music. And then apps. So, I mean, I'm not really a power user. It's usually on Wi-Fi, and that eats up a lot of battery too. So, I'd say I get a good solid 6 hours of power use. If you're... That was a CTFXC ring. Sorry. Anyways, if you are just the calling type and you're not really a power user during the week, because a lot of people are like that. I have a lot of friends who don't really use their iPhone much until, like, you know, they're off school and at home and they're by the charger, so they never really know. If you're that kind of person, then I mean, you're not really going to have a problem. But if you are a major power user, bring a cord with you to work, or to school, because you are going to need it. Okay, second con that I find on the iPhone. A lot of people are, you know, just, woo, Siri, Siri this, Siri that. And I'm going to be an unbiased iPhone user right now, because I'm not an Apple fangirl by any means. I do have an iMac. I do own a laptop that is a PC, though. So I am integrated in both things. I have had an Android, you know, I know these things. I'm not so ignorant when it comes to those things. But one thing I have noticed is all this brag about Siri. I mean, it's a lot of hype. Interruptions. Sorry. It's a lot of hype for something that really, I don't think not everyone, but I really don't think most people will use this so much. I do use it daily for reminders and for alarms. That is it. And the dictation, which, if you don't already know, means the way how she understands you speaking and how well she can put that into, like, writing, is mediocre. I have seen, like, I mean, it is very integrated with the iPhone. That is a good thing. But I feel like the dictation isn't as good as people make it seem. And if you're really upgrading to an iPhone, or you're coming to an iPhone from another iPhone, a later model maybe, and the main reason is for Siri, you're probably going to be disappointed. I'm not for 100% sure, because we're all different and we all expect different things. But my expectations for Siri were really just greatly demeaned, slightly. Like, they weren't up to par with what I thought they were going to be. So, if that's what you're looking for with Siri, I suggest you play around with it more, go to the Apple Store, talk to it more. Don't really think more on the fun side, but think on the logical side. Am I really going to use this every day? How am I going to use this? Would I use this in public? And I mean, on my school bus, the dictation sucks, probably because there's so many voices in the background. But that's not Siri's fault. But then again, I'm in school all day, so that's mostly where I am, with lots of voices. So Siri doesn't have really good dictation when it comes to that. So, I mean, for me, it wasn't really logical, but since this is my first iPhone, I feel like I didn't come just for Siri. I came for the iPhone experience, I came for the apps, I came for the camera, I came for so many different reasons. So just have different reasons other than Siri when you're coming to the iPhone, because I feel like you're going to be disappointed. Third thing about the iPhone is camera. Front-facing camera is the same. I'm going to tell you this right now, the front-facing camera sucks. Stinks. Front-facing camera is not good at all. It's horrible, especially in low light. Maybe if you're outside in natural lighting, it could be actually subpar. But inside of my house, in normal lighting, in a bathroom, in your room, places that you would logically be more, it sucks. Really bad. The back camera. It takes beautiful pictures, but mostly when you're outside. When you're inside, like I said, if you don't have the lighting, do not expect the camera to work miracles, because it will not. I came to the iPhone hearing about this camera, how amazing it was, HD, and I use it inside, which is primarily where I am, and it's not as great as it seems, and that's mostly because of the lighting. I mean, a camera's not going to work if the lighting's not great. So, know these things before you jump into the iPhone 4S. If you have an iPhone 4, I do not suggest upgrading to the iPhone 4S for a few main reasons. One, because I feel like Siri and the camera and the millisecond of faster speed aren't worth it. That's just what I feel. If you're coming from maybe a later model, like a 3G or a 3GS, if your phone is working good, and if it's in good condition, personally, my personal opinion, I mean, you could upgrade to a 4S and you would be perfectly happy, especially coming from a 3GS or a 3G. You would be more than ecstatic with what you have, believe me. But I feel like if you could hold out a few more months or till next year of December, and you were to get the iPhone 5 and maybe the iPhone 4S would be less money, I feel like that's just a bigger incentive to wait. The fact that if the iPhone 5 isn't what you think, you can always go for the iPhone 4S, which is going to be less money. So that's just my ideas on the matter. The iPhone 5 is probably going to be amazing, and the fact that I'm going to have to wait a year after the iPhone 5 to upgrade is kind of sad. It's kind of saddening. So really, I think you should wait, but like I said, 3G or 3GS, believe me, if you upgrade, you'll be more than happy. If you upgrade from a 4, you're probably not going to be so satisfied as you would be if you upgraded from a later model. Now, the pros, some really good things, are that it is noticeably faster. With later models, you will note that when somebody spams your phone, which if, people don't spam your phone as often, you won't really notice. But if you get a lot of incoming text, your phone starts to freeze and it starts to slow down, those kind of things. So with this phone, I find that you really don't get as much, my phone doesn't freeze at all. And I've had it for a month only. I might do an update if it begins to freeze, but so far it is doing really well. It really is. And speed, I've just been more than happy with it. Although I've seen Android phones that are faster, I'm perfectly happy with my iPhone at this moment. The speed is perfectly fine for me. Another really good pro is for me, which Android already had, is the drop down, kind of pull down notification bar. And that to me is, I didn't think I would use it as much as I really am using it now, but I am using it so much, and it's just so convenient. If you're an Android user, then you probably understand why it's so convenient, because you can scroll down and already read the first few lines of your text, so you know who sent it, you know what it means. missed calls, app updates, all these things in one notification bar. And it's just so handy. Just drop it down anywhere you are. Let's say you're in an app and somebody texts you and you don't want to leave the app. There you go. Just drop it down really quick, read the first few lines. If it's something that you want to reply to immediately, click on it, and there you go. It'll take you right to it. If it's not, then just pull it back up and go back to your game. It's so useful. I'm telling you right now, you probably, if you don't have an Android, if you've never had an Android and you don't have a notification bar on your phone at this moment, which you probably don't if you don't have an Android, you will be so happy with that. I promise you. I am. If you aren't, then wow. But I am, and I really think that other people would be. So basically, the highlights of this phone, I mean, there's not much difference from the 4. From the 4 to the 4S, there's not much difference other than the camera, Siri, notification bar, and speed. Other than that, it's just mediocre things. I mean, Twitter is more integrated, so if you're into that, that's going to be a plus. I mean, other than that, I really feel like you really should just stay with the 4 if you're already at a 4. This review kind of dragged on more than I thought it would. If you have any questions, if you want to see any videos of Siri or any trial and error, anything, just let me know down below and I'll be sure to do it. Any questions you would like me to answer down below, I'll answer it. Got a lot of time. Anyways, thank you for watching the review and stay tuned for the next review. Bye!